Durdle magic. Thank you for tuning in to Durdle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and Durdle with some magic. Hello everyone and welcome back to Durdle Magic. Today we're playing some more Omnath Locus of Creation. Looking at our opening hand, we have 2 colors and we have 3 lands, Ghost Town being a colorless source. I think we want to risk a mulligan though. Doesn't look like there's any follow-up. New hand. Lands, some more lands, a way to get more lands in a recursion. Yeah, I think this hand will do fine. We can use Springbloom Druid to get our other 2 colors, so we'll definitely keep this, at least get our commander going. So, our commander, red, green, white, blue for a legendary elemental 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Landfall. When a land enters the battlefield under our control, we gain 4 life. If this happens again, we get red, green, white, blue to our mana pool, and if it happens again, we do 4 damage to each of our opponents and planeswalkers they control. I do like that last ability, haven't been able to use it though. Tranquil Cove into play for our first opponent. They gained 1 life, and they are Phelddagrif. We'll cover that in a minute. We have a Forest and an Elvish Mystic coming down for our second opponent, who is, oh, how do you pronounce that? Jedit of Afravra? We're going to call this Green Kitty, and it'll come over to our turn. Comes our turn, we get Deadeye Navigator. Alright, that's not terrible. Let's go ahead and wait, what is this one? Oh, so we do have white in the pathway. So we just need to go get some blue later on. Let's go ahead and play this as a land. Tangled Veil into play tapped, pass it off to our opponents. So we just need to go get blue with the Springbloom Druid. That's not terrible. So as we play catch up, passing it off to our third opponent. Our first opponent is Phelddagrif. 1 green, white, blue for a legendary 4/4 Phelddagrif, whatever those are. Hippo Griffins, I guess. Green, this gains trampled until end of turn, and opponent creates a 1/1 green hippo creature token. White, against flying until end of turn, target opponent gains 2 life. And blue, it is returned to the owner's hand. Target opponent may draw a card. So group hug extraordinaire. I've never played against one of these, I don't think, so we'll have to wait and see. Rupture Spire coming into play. Classic land fixing, pretty much. They pay the 1 to keep it into play, because otherwise you do have to sacrifice it if you don't. Our next opponent plays another Forest, taps down Mana Dork, plays Forebear's Blade. Okay. So, Green Kitty, because I can't pronounce any of those words besides of. 3 green for a legendary 5/5 Cat Warrior, Forest Walk, and whenever it attacks or blocks, you create a 2/2 green Cat Warrior creature token with Forest Walk. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Springbloom Druid is going to eat the Forest to go get us some extra lands. Luckily, we have 2 of our comes into play lands that produce green that are not forests. We're going to have to keep an eye on that pretty carefully. Comes to our turn, we get an island. Okay, so we do have eventually all 4 colors. Let's go ahead and play a mountain, get down the Scar Guildmage, at least have a blocker up, and pass it off to our opponents. And finally, our last opponent, who played a Plains on their first turn, is Sisay Weatherlight Captain. 2 white for a legendary 2/2 human soldier. It gets 1/1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control, and for Wooburg, search your library for a legendary permanent card with a converted mana cost less than her power. Put that card onto the battlefield and then shuffle your library. Could be shrines, could be good stuff, could be Teague. Don't like Teague, man. But we'll have to wait and see. On into play for Sisay, over to the Phelddagrif. Guafa Hazid, Profiteer. I haven't seen one of those almost ever. So this is what, Conflux? 1 white blue, 2/2 legendary creature human rogue in case you need a rogue in your party. White blue, tap, put a bribery counter on target creature you don't control. Its controller draws a card. Creatures with bribery counters on them can't attack or block. Over to the Green Kitty. I'll call him Jedi maybe? I don't know. Mana tapping, we get Canopy Stalker. Canopy Stalker must be blocked if able. When it dies, you gain 1 life for each creature that died this turn. A little bit of some kind of recovery off a board wipe. Forebear's Blade they played last turn, gives 3/0 and has Vigilance and Trample. Not too bad. When a creature dies, attach this to target creature you control. They're expecting a lot of their creatures to die, I wager. Our turn gives us trade routes. Let's go ahead, play an island, And I don't know if we want to do anything necessarily. Let's go ahead and play the trade routes. I don't want to do Spring Bloom Druid just yet. I'd rather have those landfall triggers when we have Omnath out on the battlefield, so let's go ahead and do that. Pass it off to our opponents. Actually, no, let's go ahead and swing 2 at Sisay. Might as well. We could take 4 from the Canopy Stalker, but it's just 4 for now. Damage is good. Now let's pass it off. I saw the comment on the last video, only one suggestion on a card. I did put Patron of the Moon in the deck, and we'll see if we can draw it and see how that goes. 1, to put 2 cards into play from a blue card. Blue, always doing things. In either case, it is in the deck. We'll see how it does. With this Omnath in particular, I think it would work really well. So hopefully we can draw it and see what happens. Sisay, Weatherlight Captain coming down for that player. No other mana, nothing else to do. Probably going to pass it off. Phelddagrif, Exotic Orchard into play. Let's see what they do. Otherworld Atlas, put a charge counter on it. Each player draws a card for each counter on it. So, supercharging all the decks. That's not necessarily my favorite because mono green can be really strong, and Sisay, well, it's a toolbox. We are, I mean, it'll help us, but we're not as flexible, I don't feel. Charge counter to the Otherworldly Atlas. Over to the Green Kitty's turn. Shadow Spear coming down. Lots of equipment. So it could be like a Tron / Goet, kind of like a Voldup kind of deck, but with permanent tokens. Shadow Spear being equipped to the Canopy Stalker, it's a 5/3 with trample. Ooh, Lightning Greaves also coming down. And lifelink. Yeah. Lightning Greaves over to the Canopy Stalker. Okay, hopefully we're not taking 5. Hopefully Sisay is going to take some of the hate away from us, but we'll have to see how things go. Canopy Stalker off into the Phelddagrif player. Alright. Guess they don't want anyone outracing them on ramp or something. Guafa thrown in front of the Canopy Stalker. So it will absorb 2 damage. The Canopy Stalker has trampled thanks to the Shadow Spear. Guafa down. Our opponent takes 3. Our other opponent, the Green Kitty, they gain 5 life. Comes our turn, gives us a Kalani Har Expedition. So next turn, this turn Omnath. Next turn we'll play Kalani Har Expedition, Spring Bloom Druid, get a bunch of lands into play. Seems like an idea. Let's go ahead, summon our commander. Omnath into play. We will get to draw a card. We get Tamir Ascendancy. That'll be good later. Alright, let's go ahead and swing for 2 damage off into the green player. Yep. Seems like a good idea while they're defenseless. Get some damage in there, because we can't have them getting a bunch of life and outracing us. That just won't be good. 2 damage is good. Let's pass it off to our opponents. Over to Sisay. Let's see what they do. I imagine, yep, 4th color, Sunpel Grove. That will give them green. Not quite up to Wooborg yet, but they could play a Mana Rock or something. Kodama's Reach. That will fix their colors up nicely. That is a mountain to play. Tap Sisay on the attack. Off into the Green Kitty player. Looks like people know what the threat is, although Sisay, they'll be a threat soon enough, so we might have to shift gears here in a sec. Damage is good. 2 commander damage to the Green Kitty player. Off to the Phelddagrif. Thornwood falls into play for the Phelddagrif player. They will gain 1 life. Looks like their, their mana base is pretty budget. I can appreciate that. Tap lands for the win if you don't need to be competitive. The Phelddagrif coming down for that player. They also have a charge counter on the Otherworldly Atlas. Said that at the end of their last turn. Let's see if they want everybody to draw a card at some point, or if they're just going to put another charge counter on the Otherworldly Atlas. No activation of the Atlas. Over to Green Kitty. That's a lot of mana. What are they doing with it? Oh, their commander coming down. Okay, it has Forest Walk. Luckily, it can't hurt us. Can't hurt Sisay either. The Phelddagrif player is, however, going to be unable to block it. They do control a forest card. Lightning Greaves equipped to the commander. So that means they can't attack. It is a 5/5. It's a 5/5 for 6 with a, 20% unblockability. And it can make other creature tokens. Oh, Swords to Plowshares out of Sisay? Yeah, out of Sisay. Onto the commander. Oof. Alright. Sisay not going to take the cat lightly. Good for him, I guess. Green Kitty will gain 6 life. Their commander back to the command zone. Lightning Greaves unable to equip. That's probably fine, though. When your equip cost is 0, it hurts a lot less. 2 combat. Let's see if they send the Canopy Stalker anywhere. They do, off into Sisay. That seems pretty legitimate. So that is a 5/3 trample, lifelink, shroud, haste creature. Damage is good. Green kitty player up to 51, Sisay down to 33. Comes our turn, we get Oracle of Moldai. This is a new include. I felt this particular Omnath needed a lot of those extra land effects, those extra land drop effects rather. Forest in play, we'll do what we said last time. Culinary Heart Expedition, Springbloom Druid, and get those lands going. Sacrifice the basic forest. We'll probably need to get another basic forest as it is, and an island. So we're not exactly stopping the forest walk here, but things, they're happening. Calling Heart Expedition will trigger twice. We'll get 2 counters on it. Omnath will trigger for the rest of its abilities as well. Always a good deal. Calling Heart Expedition's ability is a May trigger. Make sure you click yes if you're on Magic Online. We have 4 free mana. Let's go ahead and play the Oracle of Moldai. I imagine some removal will be coming our way. We get a Forest. Do we want to play that right now? No, I don't think we do. We don't get any more landfall triggers. Let's go to combat. We'll send Omnath off into the mono green player. Seems like a good idea. They'll take 4, it'll be commander damage, and that's mostly what I want to do to counteract their life gain. 4 damage is good, they're down to 43. Let's pass it off to the Sisay player. Forest into play for the Sisay player. They do have Wooburg +1. So, will they go search out anything? There are a few legendaries that cost 1. Not too many, though. Traveler's Amulet. Alright, they're going to go get another basic land at some point. Otherworldly Atlas is being activated. We will each draw a card. Oh, sorry, my mistake. They added a counter to it. Sisay to the attack. I don't think they'll send it anywhere. They do not. To the end step, no other plays out Sisay, leaving up the mana to tutor. Over to Phelddagrif. 6 cards in hand for them, by the way, 35 life. Let's see what they do. They do have still the Atlas. Again, my mistake. It's 2 charge counters now. They did not activate it for the card drawing effect. Temple of the False God into play for them. Lignify on our commander. The saddest of faces. Alright, well, that's fair. It's the only thing they could target, really. Besides Sisay. That was a good target. So, I'm not going to be too bummed about it. It's still a mighty 0/4. Sphere of Safety for the Phelddagrif. So, Pillfort, Group Hug, all that jazz. Typical deck. Otherworldly Atlas. Each player draws a card. So we are drawing 2 cards this time. So we'll draw this Forest, and we'll see what else. Rampant Growth, Dragon Master Outcast on top of our deck. Okay, I can see that. Unfortunately, we're going to have to blink our commander or have it get killed to reset it. So, don't know what to do about that, unless we can draw something like Pier's Whim or some other removal. That's it for Phelddagrif. Let's go over to the green kitty. They're going to have 5 cards in hand thanks to the Atlas and their draw step, so give them a little bit more gas. The thing with symmetrical draws is you have to be careful that way. Vernal Bloom coming down. Whenever Force is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional green. Oh, okay. I do love the art on that card too. Something to remember. Boreal Druid coming down. Manadork. Lightning Greaves over to the Druid. Okay. Looking to equip the other equipment to the Canopy Stalker, perhaps. Yep, there it is. Lightning Greaves back on over. The Shoes of Swiftness. Green Kitty off to the attacks. Canopy Stalker into Sisay. Yep. Sisay and them not friends, apparently. Sisay activating their commander? Nope. Samut, Voice of Dissent coming down. Flash. Samut in for the block. That will kill their creature. However, they will only be absorbing 4 damage. Green Key is going to gain 8 life. Oop, I forgot. Yep, she has double strike. Forgot. Keyword Soup Samut. There you go. So, Green Kitty's attacker down. They have a number of death triggers. I guess that's a good foresight in the deck. Alright, so damage from Samut good on the attacking kitty. Samut fine. Sisay fine. Lightning Greaves to the Druid. Comes over us, we get the Dragon Master Outcast, and we get Omnath Locus of the Royal on top. Go ahead and play a Rampant Growth. Get another land out of our deck. Let's make it a mountain. Heart Expedition will trigger. We will not be using the ability to go get lands right now, though. We will add a counter. We can sacrifice it at some instant speed shenanigans. so that's fine with me. Let's play the Tamir Ascendancy. Seems pretty good, especially when we start blinking Omnath. Trying to set up for the Deadeye Navigator. Let's play the Sunpell Grove off the top. Heart Expedition will trigger. We'll add a counter, sure, why not? We do have a green floating, but nothing to really use it with. So let's go ahead and return a land we control to our hand. Actually, we'll discard the Farce to draw Bodoka Gardener off the top. And there's a Plains up top. Alright, so let's just pass it off to our opponents. We can't really attack anywhere, unfortunately. We'll just have to let them slug it out for now. Over to Sisay. Let's see what they do with the turn. Was not expecting a Samut. So, let's see. 7 cards in hand for them, 29 life. Temple Garden coming into play, untapped. Sword of the Amist, yet more ramp coming out of the Sisay player. Sword of the Amist to Sisay. Sisay activation. Let's see what they get. They do have to reveal it. I think it goes just straight to the battlefield anyway. Yep, there it is. Aldrich Lunarch Marshal, Combat General Extraordinaire. At the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If a creature you control asks first strike, the same is true for Flying, Death Touch, Double Strike, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Skull, Trample, and Vigilance. Lots of keys. Lots of keywords, rather. Alright, so basically Samut's going to give Vigilance, Haste, Double Strike to all their other creatures. Sisay being able to hit for 12 commander damage is no joke. Sisay does not attack anywhere. Alright. Over to the Phelddagrif. 6 cards in hand after the draw, still at 35 life. Otherworld Atlas being activated, each player will draw 2 cards. We draw 2 lands in crop rotation on top. Spectral Searchlight. Mana rock that can give somebody else some mana. Sylvala Explorer returned, one of my personal favorite green-white cards, and that's saying something because I absolutely hate green-white as far as a playstyle most times. Just not my jam. But I love this card in particular. Parlay, tap, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, the player who controls the vault adds green to their mana pool and gains 1 life, then each player draws the card. So you are helping people, but it helps you a little bit more, and you can really play around with those kind of politics. Phelddagrif gains trample 2 on to turn, target opponent creates a hippo. I want to see the hippo. So, Green Kitty's going to get the hippo. Come on, I want to see the art. Alright, that is a lot less adorable than I thought it would be. I'm just saying. 2 combat, Aldrich will trigger for the Sisay player, and I'll stop saying that until he's destroyed or removed. Just remember, he gets to share the Sisay player's creature abilities amongst their creatures. No attacks out of the Phelddagrif player either, although I didn't expect any out of them. Over to Green Kitty. Green Kitty coming down for that player. Eldrazi Monument. Okay, yeah, I'd like some removal then, please. Did add some more removal to the deck. We'll go over that at the end of the game, too. But I'd like to see some now. Would be great. Lightning Greaves over to their commander. It is a 6/6 flying indestructible, kitty. 2 combat. Okay, let's see where they might strike with their commander. They do have to worry about Sisay, and they don't have Vigilance, unlike Sisay. Sisay can't have Vigilance, so they'll have to be careful. Alright, they attack. They'll get a 2/2 green key creature token into play. Good for Eldrazi Monument. Good to block. Good to sacrifice. Alright, the Green Kitty is coming into us. There's nothing we can do about it, so we're taking 6 commander damage. There it is. Down to 38. 6 commander damage is good. Comes our turn. We get crop rotation, Rites of Flourishing up on the docket here. So what do we want to do? We still want to set up that Deadeye Navigator to unlock our commander. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that without somebody blasting us right in the face. Deadeye Navigator to the stack. Let's see if there's any responses. Phelddagrif might have a counter. Nope. We got 2 triggers. Let's go ahead and do the Soul Bond first. We will pick our commander when it comes around. Pair with Omnath. Then we'll draw a card from the Tamir Ascendancy. It'll be Rites of Flourishing. Let's see what we get off the top. Avenger of Zendikar. That'll be nice later. Okay, so what we need to do now is to get an island into play. Let's go ahead and sacrifice the Crying Heart Expedition. We'll get another island, and it looks like we're going to need a mountain. We have a forest and a plains in play. Come into play tapped. Let's go ahead and pay green. We will return a land we control, an island, to our hand. Trade Routes returns the island to our hand. Let's go ahead and play for our first land to turn. Then let's activate the blinking ability for Omnath. Get that enchantment off of there. We have a number of triggers. Let's go ahead and put the draws on the stack last. Soul Bond first. We will again bond with Omnath, draw a card, and then we'll draw Rhythm of the Wild. Actually, it is a main trigger. We'll leave that on top. Let's play another land for turn. Forest in play. We get 4 life. And then we will play the Phelddagrif Gardener. We have some extra mana here. Oh, actually, we have 2 extra mana here. So we can play Rites of Flourishing. That could be good, or it could really set us behind. Let's go ahead and play the Phelddagrif Gardener, though. We're going to lose the green mana, unfortunately. Suppose we could draw on a card, but I think we're good on the card draw for now. 2 combat. I don't see anywhere profitable to attack, so I think at this point we'll just see if they have removal for Deadeye or our commander, and pass it off to our opponents. Over to the Sisay player. 27 life, 7 cards in hand. They'll have 8 after the draw. They have, besides the green player, the best creatures on the board as far as combat goes. We aren't seeming to run into any of our big guys. Avenger of Zendikar got shuffled back in, unfortunately. Bit of a misplay there. Evolving Wild just gets the crack for the Sisay player. Mountain into play, tapped. Secure Tribe Elder coming down, still ramping. Sisay Weatherlight Captain being activated for the tutoring ability. Let's see what they get. They can get anything that costs 5 or less at the moment. They get Arvod, increasing her power to a 9/9. So Death Touch, Lifelink, other legendary creatures you control get 2/2. Pretty straightforward kind of legendary creature. 2 combat. Sisay almost lethal on just about anyone if they can't block it. And unfortunately, we haven't drawn any removal, even though I've increased the removal suite, so that is a bit of a sad face. Sword of the Amethyst will trigger Sisay all into us. That's unfortunate. It was just reading the chat. Apparently, they're making deals to try to destroy us. I gotta say, I'm not as threatened by this Omnath as I am by the 3-color one, but it has a reputation, I suppose. Okay, so all of their guys have trample. The commander, though, is what we really need to worry about. I guess we'd have to put everything in front of it just to kill it. And that would kind of suck. We'd be taking like 20 damage, though. Alright, we're going to block with all 5 of those creatures off against Sisay. See if we can't kill it. Other than that, we probably won't be able to because of the double strike. And we'll be taking 20 damage. Yeah, there's not much we can do about this situation. We don't have very large creatures. Almost nothing in the deck flies, for that matter. And our guys aren't beefy enough to take on double strike and trample together. So, unfortunately, I think between Sisay and Green Kitty, we're going to be dead pretty quick here. Oop, yeah, that's a good point. Forgot about Lifelink and Death Touch on their commander now. That is a sad face. All of our guys are just going to straight up die. Oops. Oh well. It doesn't look like we're going to get out of it regardless. All of our guys died. Let's return our commander to the command zone. We are so far down to 32. Let's see what the double strike brings us down to. Down to 22. Still only 6 commander damage, so we did block, I guess, the majority of it, which doesn't seem correct to me. So we did lose the rest of our army. So I guess that worked as more or less intended. Steve is getting sacrificed to search their library for a basic landing card. So I will apparently have a biased opinion. I'm playing the Omnath, but I don't think the threat assessment is necessarily correct. This Omnath seems to be generally less powerful, at least with the cards I like to use in decks, than the 3-color Omnath or the 2-color Omnath. So by far, I think the ability to tutor through your deck every turn for something is a stronger effect. But I could be wrong. Obviously, I don't think Sisay is going to punch themselves in the face. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would also include the Green Kitty player in this, but they are seemingly very dependent on the creatures, and a board wipe will send them back pretty bad, I think. So I don't think they're a threat damage-wise, but I don't think they're like a long-term potent threat as long as you can get rid of the monument and a board wipe. Like if we hit on a steer command, we can really come back in this game, I feel. And Sisay leaves the game. That is interesting. I'm going to go check the chat. I kind of wish they had done that before slaughtering my minions. We will draw 2 cards. Migration's Path and Rhythm of the Wild from an activation of Otherworldly Atlas. Let me go check the chat. Island into play for Phelddagrif. Alright, so Sisay just straight up says they have to go. Life happens, what can you do? But, the timing, man. I feel a little bit cheated if I'm real with you guys. Mind's Aglow. Join forces starting with you. Each player may pay a mana. I'm gonna draw X cards where X is the total amount of mana paid this way. Yeah, well, no one else can really add mana, so let's see what they do. X is 6. Okay. That's going to be a lot of extra cards. I don't remember if I run a Reliquary Tower in here, but if I do, I hope it shows up. The green key player does use a Magic to add some mana to that. We get 7 cards. Blasphemous Act would be great if we can get rid of the Eldrazi Monument. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we drew any kind of removal otherwise. We did draw a Myriad Shepherd, and we do have a Plains in play, so that's going to be pretty good. Get Oracle of Moldiah back down, drop another land, play some stuff. Could be on our way to recovery. However, we do have a Forest, and they do have a 6/6 commander. It'll only take 1 or 2 more hits to kill us, and that's unfortunate. Spectral Searchlight's being activated, getting the Phelddagrif player a green mana. Rites of Flourishing coming down from them. I guess we won't have to play ours anytime soon. We get a draw. Tatyova Benthic Druid. That'll be good. We need some life gain, and we also need to kill their commander. Phelddagrif still making a bunch of mana after the parlay activation from Zaval. That's the one that got us Tatyova Benthic Druid. Had not realized that at the time. But let's see what they're doing with it. They have 4 mana floating currently. Bant Charm, destroy target artifact. Okay, they destroy the Lightning Greaves, so that gets us closer to where we need to go, especially if we get a Pier's Whim or something. But Eldrazi Monument was not what they destroyed, unfortunately. Could be a strategic play. I don't actually know. Oh, Darksteel Mutation. That sucks. Okay, so we do have an indestructible blocker, but all their guys fly over here on Green K's side, so that's not very good for us. So as I was saying, I do have a biased opinion. I want the Eldrazi Monument destroyed so I can Blasphemous Act. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. To the cleanup step, Phelddagrif needs to discard some cards. Over to Green Kitty. Phelddagrif gets rid of Questing Phelddagrif. Totally on the Phelddagrif plays today. Slows into Gilgate and an island. Okay, 16 cards in hand for the Green Kitty player. 44 life, 4 commander damage. 2 lands come out of their hand into play, both basic forest. Let's see what they do. They can deal a lot of damage to us, and we get 1 turn, maybe 2, to survive for the rest of this game. It's not looking that great. Nature's Lore, they'll get another forest card from their library, put it onto the battlefield. We have to remember, too, with the Bloom enchantment in play, each of their forests tap for green. They could probably play everything in their hand. If we can get lucky, draw something to destroy the monument, and then cast Blasphemous Act, we can stabilize this game. Problem is, luck usually isn't on my side. Quasali Slingers. Reach. Whenever it or another cat enters the battlefield under control, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Oof. That's gonna suck. It's gonna be good for him for the Sphere of Safety, but I imagine Trade Routes and Tamir's Tendency are going away pretty quick. Sphere of Safety is getting hit first, though, so I can live with that. Generous Stray, another cat comes down, they'll draw a card. Alright, let's see what they target this time. Getting rid of the Rites of Flourishing. That's too bad, although we did have a plan to get back the Oracle of Moldiah, assuming we survive. Forebear's Blade going onto their commander. That's a lot of commander damage. Shadow Sphere also being equipped. It will have lifelink. It is a 10/7 lifelink trample flying indestructible. Regrowth, they're returning Lightning Greaves from their graveyard to their hand. Play Greaves, equip Greaves, seems like a good idea. Yep, there's the Greaves. Equipped to their commander. So now it also has Haste and Shroud. Oh boy. To the attacks, where are they sending it? Won't kill us immediately. Okay, they're sending it into the Phelddagrif player. And we are taking Kitty? We are taking 1 Kitty so far. Alright, we'll be taking 3. We can't block it anyway. We are an indestructible bug. Kitty comes into play. Quasali Slingers will trigger. Tamir's Tendency ascends no more. Sad face. Damage is good all around. 10 commander to the Phelddagrif. They're down to 27. We are down to 19. 6 commander damage still from the Green Kitty commander. Cleanup step. Let's see what they discard. They discard a lot of forest. Alright then. Our turn gives us an island. Okay. So, I guess we're going to go with the original plan. Let's get down the Shepherd. We do get double green from our forest, so that's nice. Immaterial Shepherd to the battlefield, please. Thank you. Let's play Plains. We have a trigger. Let's get back the Oracle of Moldiah. Oracle of Moldiah back to the battlefield. Glacial Fortress on top of our deck. Let's go ahead and play it from there. Second land drop for the turn. Emir Shepherd will trigger. We get something back to our hand this time. Let's go ahead and get the Tamir Ascendancy. Now we have a Plains on top. Unfortunately, we cannot play it. So what we really need to do now is draw some more cards. And that's really the crux of our issue because we need removal for the Eldrazi Monument. So what are we going to do about that? Let's go ahead and cycle Migration Path. See if we can get that Plains off the top. Winds of Abandon. That's actually super good. How do we get to that and how do we survive until then? So let's go ahead, discard a land card from our hand here with trade routes. Discard an island. Draw the Winds of Abandon, get Wayward Swordtooth to the top. So, worst comes to worst, we can overload it, but we still have to survive one turn. And I don't know how we're going to necessarily do that. Let's play Dragon Master Outcast, and then we'll play the Embodiment of Spring. I guess set up for the next turn in case something goes, and then let's go ahead and pass off to our opponents. Unfortunately, we have the one flyer. I will block as necessary. We can't afford to keep a Mary Shepherd around and still take all that commander damage to the face. To the cleanup and end steps. Let's see what we need to discard here. Okay, there's the discards. We'll take a look at that in a second. So we did discard the Tamir Ascendancy again. Tatiova, Sylvan Scrying, Sulphur Falls, Rhythm of the Wild, Rites of Flourishing, and Crop Rotation. We can get some of that back with the Eternal Witness and our Angel if it survives, which I doubt. But I think we kept the most important pieces in hand. Ghostly Flicker is going to be very good. Otherworldly Atlas being activated, we get to draw one card, Wayward Swordtooth, and a Plains. So I guess two. Broken Bond on top of the deck, that's going to be good. Dubious Challenge, targeting us, okay. Okay, so we get Stoic Angel and the Guiltspire Avenger. So we get the creatures. We read that wrong initially. So for reference, it's 3 green sorcery. Look at the top 10 cards of your library, exile up to 2 cards from among them, shuffle your library. Target opponent may choose one of the exiled cards and put that card on the battlefield under their control. Put the rest on the battlefield under your control. So we'll take the Stoic Angel, sure. They can have the Guiltspire Avenger. The Stoic Angel's better for us initially because we have Flying Vigilance and players can't tap more than one creature, which is great. Plus, we have another flying blocker. Fantastic. Jace's Archivist. Oh, I hope they don't have haste. I really need to keep this hand right now. We draw a card, thanks to Savala. Broken Bond into our hand. Admonition Angel up top there. John Strider, green, discard a card. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. Ooh. Through combat, Phelddagrif not doing anything. To the end step, over to Green Kitty. They only get to untap one creature. That'll be good for us. Admonition Angel, we're finally drawing some answers here, finally drawing some removal. Let's see how things go. They sacrificed the Boreal Druid. That's fine. It's getting hard to see. I need smaller zones. Shrink it all down. Lightning Greaves over to the Flying Indestructible Hippo. What are they going to equip to their commander? I just remembered also that he has Forest Walk and we didn't destroy our forest. So, yeah, if they boost him up to 15 plus power, we are in big trouble. Mostly the trouble of being dead. Pride Malkin? Is that how you pronounce that? It is a cat, though. It's going to trigger the destroy the things kind of stuff. So that's unfortunate. Yep, there it is. Pride Malkin is also going to come into play, if I even pronounced that correctly. When there's the battlefield, put one counter on target creature you control. Each creature you control, the counter on it gets trample. Huh, kind of missed that one in the core set. That's interesting. Also from a little kitty. Go figure. They're going to put a counter on their commander. It's an 11-8. Getting pretty scary. They only need 4 more damage to kill us. Conversely, they need no more damage to kill the Phelddagrif player. That's something for sure. Greater Good. Ooh, that's kind of gonna kibosh our Winds of Abandon. But if we can get rid of the creatures and start slamming into them, that'll be just fine with me. Lightning Greaves back to the commander. Are they going to take out Phelddagrif? We would lose the Stoic Angel, but at this point, we'd survive, so I'm not terribly, upset about that. They do have a lot of potential mana available, though. 13, in fact. Lightning Greaves back over to the Hippo. They're not done beefing up their commander. One with Nature. Enchant a creature. It is their commander. Green. Whenever this creature does combat damage to the player, you may search your library for a basic land card, put that card on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Okay, so that's interesting. Still going to go and ramp some stuff. It's not increasing their power, so we still have a chance. Prowling Serpopard. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing any of these correctly. This spell can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered. It's a snake. They get to blow up yet something else. It's nice to have aura shards on a creature. Where did this come from anyway? Was this in the pre-con? I don't know. This one is a bunch of small kittens in the tree. So, not sure. They are destroying their own enchantment. Okay. Guess they don't want us to have the extra mana either. No, they didn't destroy it. So, it is a May trigger. Interesting. I had wondered why they did. Also, I love this art. So good. Also love this art. Maybe I just have a thing for sunrise and sunsets. I don't know. Hunting Cheetah. Can't be countered. When it does combat damage to the player, you may search your library for a forest card. Okay, so it's the same thing. They're getting rid of trade routes. That's a sad face, but it was bound to happen eventually. Trade routes goes bye-bye. We trade no more. 2 combat. Alright, let's see if they take out the Phelddagrif player or if they're going to come straight at us. We cannot block. We control a forest. They're attacking us with just about, well, they're attacking us with everything that's red. So, yeah, they will trigger. We cannot block the commander, but we can block a few of the other guys. I don't know if we're going to be able to block enough, though. Had not counted on that. We do have Ghostly Flicker to respond, but there's nothing in our graveyard that is flying. So, I think we might be out of this. Oh, they're destroying our artifact creature. Is that even going to work? Nope, it's indestructible. Okay. I didn't know if they were actually destroying the enchantment of the artifact creature. Sometimes Magic Online is interesting that way. So can we use Ghostly Flicker to do anything right now? No, unfortunately not. Doesn't look like we can. We could bring back, I don't know, a creature or something, a permanent, but it wouldn't really help us do anything. So we'll save it for some landfall triggers, and let's go to blocks. Okay, so even if we block the biggest creatures, I think we are quite out of this. So, oh, we can't even block the air ones. So we'll be taking, looks like 8. Yeah, we'll be taking just enough to die. Sad face. We were 1 turn away from being, like, just ready to deal with them. Damn. Damn. Exactly 0. We are out of the game. Sad face. Sad face. Alright, let's see if Phelddagrif can pull it off. I don't know that they can, though. Did they have some defenses? Like the fog generator here? So they will have to get through that somehow and kill the creature. We were 1 turn away with that Winds of Abandon. Dang it. Alright, alright. Not much to be done now. Let's see if Phelddagrif can pull it out. The Green Kitty player at 65 life, 5 cards in hand, bunches of creatures. Now they'll have more cards in hand. They sacrifice the Hunting Cheetah. So they will draw 2, discard 3. The Great Henge coming down for the Green Kitty player. That's like a really good card. Yavimaya Dryad also coming down. Another Forest Walk card. Yeah, we really should have taken more opportunity to destroy our own forests. We do have some other non-basic green sources in the deck. Should have been probably a little bit more proactive with that, but live and learn, I suppose. So the Great Henge, in case you're unfamiliar, can apparently tap for mana. Green, you gain 2 life, by the way. Secure Tribe Elder coming down for the Green Kitty player. So it costs 7 green. It's a legendary artifact for all you legendary fans out there. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Again, tap stat green, you gain 2 life, and whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put 1 counter on it and draw a card. This thing essentially does everything green does besides literally get you lands. This card is stupid amazing, and I would say it's a little bit broken, at the very least. On the bright side, it is more vulnerable as an artifact. I'm trying to look for the bright side here. Over to the Phelddagrif's turn. They're already tapping a bunch of mana. Let's see what they do with it. I would love a Winds of Abandon coming out of them. It's River's Rebuke. Oof, that's about just as good. Everything this player controls, the Green Kitty player that is, their permanents, their non-land ones, are returned to their hand. Nice. Nicely done. 20 cards in hand for the green kitty player. Phelddagrif still has 2 green floating. Jace's Archivist. They're wheeling the hand away. So, with the replacement effect for the commander can go back to the command zone and they'll get to do that. So, Phelddagrif gets to draw 20. Yep, there's the commander for green kitty. Green kitty player gets to draw a fresh new 20, but they did have to discard the other 19 cards, including the Eldrazi Monument, which we were so close. So close. Although these close games are kind of what I live for. So entertaining it was. So I guess at this point we should also discuss the discrepancy between the Phelddagrif player and green kitty player. Phelddagrif has 42 cards in the library, and the green kitty player has 35. So 2 more Jace activations and they can win the game. There's a Howling Mine. What else came down here? Eladamri's Vineyard. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, that player adds green. Okay, that's pretty good. Also, Tempest. Most underrated set of all time, I feel. It had some great cards in it. Still has some great cards in it. Wish I had more Tempest cards. Phelddagrif to the attack step. Hit him. Hit him for 2. Phelddagrif getting exalted by the Guilt Spire Avenger. It's going to be a mighty 5/5 flying hippopotamus. Whack. Damage is good. Off to the cleanup step. This might take a while. I'll see you guys on the other side of this. Lots of discards. Looks like a lot of lands. Hunted Lamasu. Sandworm Convergence over here. Whoop, sorry, hit the wrong key. That's pretty good too. So we are going off over to the green kitty's turn. They will draw a card and an extra card with Howling Mine. They will also get 2 free green mana. So they will be able to play a number of things in their hand. They don't have double mana anymore. So they'll have 12 mana, 14 mana to work with, at least in the first main phase. Forest into play for the green kitty player. Oh, green kitty player gives it up. Phelddagrif wins the match. Nicely played holding on to that River's Rebuke. Nicely played. Alright, well, bad luck for us, unfortunately. 1 turn away. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deck, analyze some of the changes. Okay, here's the deck. So what I wanted to do with the deck was, like I said in the last video, add more removal, and I did, basically. We have Menzizi Mortars in the deck. We add 1 more removal. I also took out Flood of Tears, even though I really love that card, because white can give us Austere Command, which I totally glossed over this whole time. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. We just had Winds of Abandon. That last turn, press Broken Bond. We were set up to go. We just couldn't quite block enough. And that is a major weakness of many of my landfall decks, actually. They just lack flyers. But speaking of flyers, I did have a comment on the last video suggesting something. I wanted to try it out. I do have some nostalgia for Kamigawa, and that suggestion was here, Patron of the Moon. 5 blue for a 5/4 flyer, Moonfolk Offering, which doesn't matter in this case. It flies, and for 1, you can put 2 lands from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Now what that does for us is it gets us 2 lands into play, especially after a land drop or before a land drop, and it's at instant speed. It doesn't say here, use only at sorcery speed. So I thought this was a really good suggestion, especially if you're going to be a little bit more casual about things, and frankly it'll unlock this Omnath. So I thought it was a good suggestion. Unfortunately we didn't get to see it, but if you do build this deck, maybe try it out. Other than that, there were really no other real changes to the deck. Again, did want to add more removal. The only other change I can think of mentioning is the Oracle of Moldiah. For this Omnath in particular, having the extra land drops is really key, because you need to get, because they're not always going to be the same ability like on the red-green Omnath or the red-green-blue Omnath. This one, they're all different abilities, and I really want to get to that 4 damage to opponents, even though it would take, what, 30 land drops to kill our opponents, just by proxy of doing a little bit of extra damage each time, plus, you know, Planeswalkers can be really annoying. I just add this one in. It's been reprinted recently. It's much cheaper generally than Exploration at the moment, as far as I know anyway. So I decided to add this one at the 4 drop slot, and we did get it, and it did work out for us for a little bit, so that works out. I didn't want to go too overboard on the extra land dropping effects. That can make the deck really expensive, and I do try to keep things cheap-ish, so you don't have to spend $1,000 if you want to build the deck. But here's the deck. Again, not too many changes. Covered most of them, really. If you saw any cards you want to buy for yourself, sealed product or sleeves to protect those cards, please consider using the TCG Player affiliate link below in the description. It'll help out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. And what do we do with that money? We buy Patron of the Moon and listen to your suggestions. So if you have any suggestions for any more cards for any decks that come up in the future, please feel free to make those comments below. Because Commander Legends did get pushed back, we will be doing some redo decks of our more popular commanders on the channel, maybe trying to upgrade them, see how they do. Winota is something I want to revisit and try to make it casual. My first attempt is going to be really gimmicky, so stay tuned for that. Until then, I'll see you on the next series for this channel, probably featuring Winota.